first contender tonight is James Ratcliffe, a communications consultant from Surrey. He's answering questions on the band Blur. Gemma Wilson is a library assistant from Leeds, and her specialist subject, the Thursday Next novels by Jasper Fforde. Next, Don Crera, a retired computer programmer from Hampshire, on the American Civil War. And Ewan Macaulay, PhD student from Cambridge, on the short stories of David Foster Wallace. And welcome to Mastermind with me, John Humphrys, and 4 of the 96 people who have volunteered to take part in these Mastermind heats in the hope that they will make it through to the semi-final and then the grand final. If they do, they will have a chance to walk away with a lovely glass bowl and the much-envied title of Mastermind Champion. Before all that, they face a couple of minutes of questions on the subject they have chosen and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. So let's get on with it and ask our first contender to join us, please. And your name is?
My name's James Ratcliffe.
Your occupation?
I'm a communications consultant.
And your chosen subject?
The band Blur.
The band Blur in 2 minutes. Here we go. Blur were one of the leading British bands of the 1990s. What's the title of the band's 3rd studio album? It was their first to reach #1 in the UK and has a title track narrated by the actor Phil Daniels.
Park Life.
Yes, Damon Albarn and Graham Coxon met the group's bass player, Alex James, when they were studying at which college in London?
Goldsmiths.
Yep. What was the title of the band's debut single, which was released in October 1990 and reached the UK top 50?
She's So High.
Yes. Which producer worked with Blur for the first time on the single There's No Other Way and produced most of the tracks on their first 5 studio albums?
Stephen Street.
Yep. Andy Ross saw the band perform for the first time at a London venue in November 1989 and signed them to the label Fforde Records soon afterwards. Which venue was that?
Dingwalls.
No, Islington Powerhouse. What is the name of the album released by the band in April 2015? It was their first new studio album for 12 years.
Magic Whip.
Yes. At which festival did Blur play a one-off gig at the Royal Festival Hall on the 2nd of July 2000? The 4 band members didn't perform together again until 2009.
The Proms.
The Meltdown Festival. Who produced the band's 1999 chart-topping album 13, which includes the songs Tender and Coffee and TV?
William Orbit.
Yes. What is the name of the studio that designed the controversial artwork for the cover of the single She's So High?
Pass.
The soundtrack of which 1996 film features Sing by Blur, as well as Damon Albarn's track Closet Romantic?
Trainspotting.
Yes. According to the band's 2nd top 10 hit single, Girls and Boys, Love in the 90s is what?
Paranoid.
Yep. At what East London venue did Blur play to a crowd of around 27,000 people in June 1995, supported by the Boo Radleys and Sparks, among others?
Mile End.
Yes. The opening track on Blur's eponymous 1997 album gave them their 2nd UK #1 single. What was its title?
Beetlebum.
Yep, the cover of Blur's The Best Of compilation album, released in 2000, features digital portraits of the band by which artist? They were displayed at the National Portrait Gallery.
Damien Hirst.
No, it was Julian Opie. You had just 1 pass, James. The name of the studio that designed that controversial artwork was Style Rouge. You have scored 10 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Gemma Wilson.
Your occupation?
Library assistant.
And your chosen subject?
The Thursday Next novels by Jasper Fforde.
In 2 minutes, starting now. What device that enables the literary detective Thursday Next to enter novels was invented by her uncle Mycroft? She uses it to go into Jane Eyre.
The Prose Portal.
Yes. What's the name of Thursday's pet dodo? She genetically engineered it herself using a home cloning kit.
Pickwick.
Yes. In First Among Sequels, Thursday finds herself in command of a ship and faces difficult decisions while she tries to get to the wreck of the Hesperus. What is the ship called?
The Moral Dilemma.
Yes. The ballroom of which house, from Sense and Sensibility, is the office of Juries Fiction, the policing agency of Book World?
Norwood.
Noland. What name does Thursday's teenage daughter, Tuesday, give to the subatomic particle that she thinks might help predict random events?
Made-upian.
Yes. Who is Thursday's officially sanctioned stalker and later her biographer? He's also involved in a cheese smuggling ring.
Milan de Flas.
Yes. What is the name of the family of villains that Thursday battles against throughout the series? They include Aeonis, who plants a memory of a non-existent daughter in Thursday's mind.
The Hades.
Yes. The recipe for what dish is actually an equation to help reverse the flow of time and thereby enable time travel?
Unscrambled eggs.
Yes. Which English town is offered as reparations for the Crimean War? The Russian Tsar's chief negotiator accepts the offer.
Tunbridge Wells.
Yes. Who is the non-executive president for life of the English Republic at the beginning of the series?
George Formby.
Yes, he is. For which genre of fiction is Speedy Muffler the senator? He claims to have a dirty bomb capable of hurling explicit suggestions and scenes of a gratuitous nature.
Racy novel.
Yes. Which team does Thursday help the Swindon Mallets beat in a penalty shootout in the 1988 World Croquet League Super Hoop match?
The Reading Whackers.
Yes. What sort of book-dwelling parasitic life forms are the adjectivores, verbisoids and parataxes that inhabit Bookworld?
Grammar-sites.
Yes. What is the alphanumeric code name of the extremely strong cheese that Thursday finds while she is smuggling cheese from the Socialist Republic of Wales?
X14.
X14 is exactly right. And I didn't understand one of those questions. However, you did, and you have scored, Gemma, 13 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Don Crearer,
Your occupation?
retired computer programmer,
And your chosen subject?
the American Civil War.
In 2 minutes, starting now. Who led the American Marines when they were sent to put down John Brown's raid on the Federal arsenal at Harper's Ferry that contributed to the start of the Civil War? He later commanded the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia.
Robert E. Lee,
Yes. What name was given to the series of battles in the Peninsula Campaign during June and July 1862 that included Mechanicsville and Malvern Hill?
the 7 Days Battle,
Yes. What strategic piece of high ground was the 20th Maine Regiment ordered to hold at all costs on the second day of the Battle of Gettysburg?
Little Round Top,
Yep. In which cabinet post in Lincoln's administration did Edwin Stanton replace Simon Cameron in January 1862?
Secretary of War,
Yes. What name that comes from the light infantry of the French army was adopted by many volunteer regiments who wore baggy red trousers and embroidered waistcoats?
Zouaves,
Yes. Of which of his generals who was fatally wounded at Chancellorsville did Lee say he has lost his left arm, but I have lost my right arm?
Jackson,
Yes. In November 1861, the Union Navy seized 2 Confederate diplomats from a British ship and caused a diplomatic crisis. What was the name of the ship?
Trent,
Yep. Which was the first of the 11 southern states to secede from the Union and later form the Confederate States of America?
South Carolina,
Yes. What was the name of the barbaric commandant of the Andersonville Stockade? He was hanged as a war criminal in November 1865.
Wirtz,
Yes. In what capacity did Belle Boyd serve the Confederacy and Elizabeth Van Lew serve the Union during the war?
Spies,
Yep. What is the name of the burial ground after which Cemetery Hill and Cemetery Ridge were named in the Battle of Gettysburg?
Pass,
Who led the Army of the Ohio that arrived at the end of the first day of the Battle of Shiloh and helped to turn the battle in favour of the Union forces?
Buell,
Yes. In July 1864, John Bell Hood faced William Sherman in battles at Peachtree Creek and Ezra Church in the campaign to capture which city?
Atlanta,
Yes. What battle was fought near the Rio Grande in Texas in May 1865 and was the last significant clash of the war?
Brownsville,
No, Palmito Ranch. And your time is up. You had the one pass, the name of that burial ground after which Cemetery Hill and Cemetery Ridge were named in the Battle of Gettysburg. That was Evergreen Cemetery. You have scored 12 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Ewan Macaulay,
Your occupation?
a PhD student.
And your chosen subject?
The short stories of David Foster Wallace.
In 2 minutes, starting now. In Think, the narrator says that the woman who tries to seduce him has an expression from a page in what catalogue?
Victoria's Secret.
Yes, who is the host of the late-night television talk show that the Emmy-nominated actress Ed Lynn appears on in My Appearance?
Letterman.
Yes, in Westwood, the course of empire takes its way. Mark Nectar and his wife, Drew Lynn Aberhart, are graduate writing students at which college?
Wellesley.
East Chesapeake. In a story from Oblivion, the appeal of a new Mr. Squishy snack cake is tested by a focus group at the office of the advertising firm Reesmeyer Shannon Belt. What is the snack cake called?
Felonies.
Yes. In The Soul is Not a Smithy, what is the name of the psychologist who interviewed the narrator and his classmates the day after they witnessed a traumatic event?
Pass.
In Little Expressionless Animals, Julie Smith has won every episode of a television quiz show for 3 years, from 1985 to 1988. Which show?
Jeopardy.
Yes. In Forever Overhead, what game is the boy's sister playing in the swimming pool when he gets out and makes his way to the high diving board?
Marco Polo.
Correct. What is the title of the human interest feature in Style magazine that Skip Atwater writes articles for in The Suffering Channel?
What in the world?
Yes. On what date does the narrator's little sister celebrate her birthday in Signifying Nothing?
Pass.
What is the name of the counsellor in Church Not Made with Hands who wears a T-shirt that says, "Ask me about my invisible enemies"?
Wang.
Yang. What is the nickname of the narrator in Girl with Curious Hair, whose brother is a lieutenant colonel in the US Marine Corps and carries the black box of nuclear codes for the American president?
Sick puppy.
Yes. In number 59 of the brief interviews with hideous men, which television programme was the interviewee's favourite as a child and inspired his adolescent fantasies?
Bewitched.
Yep. The narrator of the story Good Old Neon goes to meditation classes at the Downers Grove Community Centre. Who runs the classes?
Guru. No.
No, it's gone. Gurpreet. Master Gurpreet. Anyway, your other passes, the date that the narrator's little sister celebrated her birthday was the 4th of July. And it was Dr. Byron Maint. He was the psychologist who interviewed the narrator and his classmates the day after they witnessed a traumatic event. You have scored you 8 points. Some very good scores there. Let's have a look at all of them. In 4th place, 8 points, Ewan. 3rd place, 10 points, James. 2nd place, 12 points, Don. 1st place, 13 points, Gemma. And it is the general knowledge round now, of course, and if there's a tie at the end of it, then the number of passes is taken into account and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, there has to be a tie break. So let us get on with it and ask Ewan to join us again, if you would, please. And you start out with 8 points, and as you will know, we have 2.5 minutes for general knowledge, so loads of time to catch up. Here we go. The Dogs' Home, founded in Holloway in 1860, is now a dogs and cats home named after which London district?
Battersea.
Yep, and Elva is the young of which fish?
Eel.
Yes, who returned to his role as the paleontologist Dr. Alan Grant in the 2001 film sequel Jurassic Park 3?
Pass.
The Hanoverian British kings George I and George II were both born in which present-day country?
Germany.
Yes. Which city in southeastern India is capital of the state of Tamil Nadu?
Goa.
Chennai. Which American president told his people in his 1933 inaugural address that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself?
Franklin Roosevelt.
Yes. Who wrote the novels High Fidelity and About a Boy that have both been adapted to films?
Nick Hornby.
Yes. Saint Apollonia, who had her teeth knocked out when she refused to renounce her faith, is the patron saint of which profession?
Dentists.
Yes. Which prestigious prizes endowed by a former newspaper magnate are awarded annually for achievement in American journalism, letters and music?
Pulitzer.
Yes. Adenine, cytosine, guanine and thymine are the 4 bases of a complex molecular structure that determines the biological inheritance of nearly all living organisms. What structure?
DNA.
Yes. Which former winner of the X Factor made a comeback in 2016 when he topped the UK singles charts with Say You Won't Let Go?
Ollie Murs.
James Arthur. What name that comes from the Greek for horse and a course was once widely used for theatres, cinemas and concert halls?
Hippodrome.
Yes. Which small, sweet yeast buns, now available nearly all the year round, were traditionally eaten in England on Good Friday?
Hot cross buns.
Yes. Gendun Dropa, who was born in central Tibet in 1391, was the first person to bear which title in the Buddhist religion?
Dalai Lama.
Correct. What is the name of the metropolitan county that includes Liverpool and Birkenhead?
Merseyside.
Yes, in February 2016, a Swiss-Italian football administrator was elected president of FIFA in succession to Sepp Blatter. Who is he?
Platini.
Infantino. What is the title of the television series that traces the progress of the Queen, played as a young woman by Claire Foy, from her childhood to her reign after the death of her father, King George VI?
The Crown.
Yes. Which celebrated religious building in Venice was completed about 1071 in the form of a Greek cross surmounted by 5 domes?
St Mark's Cathedral.
Yes, St Mark's Basilica, yeah. What name is given to a steel blade attached at the muzzle end of a rifle? It derives from the town in southwestern France where it was first manufactured.
Bayonet.
Yes. Which Italian composer's last 2 operas, written between the years 1884 and 1893, were based on plays by Shakespeare?
Verdi.
Yes, correct. You have 1 pass. The chap who returned to his role as the paleontologist in the film Jurassic Park 3, he was Sam Neill. 1 pass, Ewan. You have scored now a total of 24 points. And now James again, please. And you start out with 10 points, James. 2.5 minutes for your general knowledge. 24 at the moment, the score to beat. Here we go. Igneous, metamorphic and sedimentary are the 3 main classifications of what natural substance?
Rock.
Yep, long-eared and greater and lesser horseshoe are species of which mammal found in Britain?
Rabbit.
Bat. Who was the lead singer of Dexy's Midnight Runners, who had a 1982 number 5 hit with Jackie Wilson Said?
Kevin Rowland.
Yes, Hugh Scully was the long-time presenter of which television programme before he was succeeded first by Michael Aspel and then by Fiona Bruce?
Antiques Roadshow.
Yes, in which Middle Eastern country did Bashar al-Assad succeed his father Hafiz al-Assad as president in 2000?
Syria.
Yes. What name is given to the top edge of a ship's side, so called because the upper guns were supported on it?
Pass.
The hopes of a nation rode on a long shot. That's the tagline of which 2003 film about an undersized racehorse that became an unexpected champion?
Sea biscuits.
Yeah. The leaves of which plant, used as a seasoning or garnish, are also known as Chinese parsley and as cilantro, especially in Mexican cuisine?
Coriander.
Yes. In which Winter Olympic sport do competitors run for about 40 metres before they jump on a stripped-down steel-framed sled and race head first down an ice track?
Bobsled.
Skeleton bob. In the United Kingdom, what is the colour of a 13-amp fuse in a standard household plug?
Brown.
Yep. What is the name of the saint who was born in Assisi in 1194 and who founded an order of nuns noted for their poverty? She was made the patron saint of television by Pius XII in 1958.
Teresa.
Claire. The Lofoten and Festaralen Islands that lie within the Arctic Circle are the largest island groups off the coast of which country?
Norway.
Yes. What senior title in the British peerage did Gerald Cavendish Grosvenor succeed to in 1979?
Pass.
Which county is known in Welsh as Sir Benfro, and part of it is often called Little England beyond Wales?
Pembroke.
Yes, Pembrokeshire. The rich bachelor Charles Bingley, the pompous clergyman William Collins and the unprincipled adventurer George Wickham are among the characters in which Jane Austen novel?
Persuasion.
Pride and Prejudice. Carl XVI Gustav became king of which country in 1973?
Sweden.
Yes. What was the nationality of the composers Borodin, Shostakovich and Rachmaninoff?
Russian.
Yes. Which architect is created with rebuilding more than 50 London churches after the Great Fire of 1666?
Christopher Wren.
Yes. Which writer created the television series Midsummer Murders and Foyle's War and wrote a series of novels about the schoolboy spy Alex Rider?
Pass. Sorry.
Well, I can tell you because your time's up. Anthony Horowitz. 2 other passes. Gerald Cavendish Grosvenor became Duke of Westminster. And the name given to the top edge of a ship's side because of the upper guns is the gunwale. You have a total now, James, of 22 points.
Okay. Thank you.
And now Don again, please. And you start out with 12 points. Score to beat is still 24. So let us see how you do with your general knowledge. Here we go. The word kindergarten, meaning a place where very young children are educated, comes from what language?
German.
Yeah. Who played Bonnie Parker in the 1967 film Bonnie and Clyde?
Faye Dunaway.
Yes. Which Canadian singer and songwriter released the best-selling album You Want It Darker in October 2016, less than 3 weeks before he died?
Leonard Cohen.
Yes. Which British colony surrendered to the invading Japanese forces on Christmas Day 1941, just over a fortnight after the attack on Pearl Harbor?
Hong Kong.
Yes. The television game shows The Golden Shot, Celebrity Squares and Family Fortunes were all hosted by which comedian?
Bob Monkhouse.
Yes. What word derived from triumph is used in bridge and whist for the suit that has been declared to rank above the other three?
Trump.
Yep. An area on the River Cherwell in Oxford that was widely used for male nude bathing until it was closed in 1991 was given what clerical name?
Pass.
In Roman legend, what animals suckled the infant Romulus and Remus after they were saved from drowning?
Wolf.
Yes. Which cricketer, famed for his appearance in hair cream adverts, played for England before and after the Second World War and played football for Arsenal?
Hobbs.
Dennis Compton. The name of what former monetary unit was first applied to a gold coin minted by King John II of France in 1360?
Noble.
Frank. Which spy master was created by John le Carré and lives at 9 Bywater Street in Chelsea with his unfaithful wife, Lady Anne?
Smiley.
Yes. The Mojave Desert lies principally in the southeast of which American state?
Arizona.
California. Which birds of prey that have long been trained for hunting have plumes called flags on their legs and a sharp tooth-like notch on the upper part of their bill?
Falcons.
Yes. What name that comes from the Greek for going is given to an electrically charged atom or molecule?
Ion.
Yes. In 2012, the WikiLeaks founder, Julian Assange, sought and gained political asylum in the London embassy of which country?
Ecuador.
Yes. In which novel by Alexander Dumas Père does the hero escape from the Chateau d'If in a body bag intended for a dead priest?
The Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes. Which prolific composer worked in the musical establishment of the Esterházy family at the Austrian court for around 30 years from 1761?
Haydn.
Yes. What marsupial creatures were the glove puppets Tinga and Tucker who appeared on a children's television show during the 1960s?
Koala bears.
Yes. The painting Rain, Steam and Speed, the Great Western Railway, expressed an English artist's interest in the changes brought about by the Industrial Revolution. Which artist?
Turner.
Turner it was, and you have one pass. That area on the River Cherwell in Oxford that was widely used for male nude bathing, I'm afraid, was called Parsons' Pleasure. That notwithstanding, you have scored 27 points. And finally, Gemma, again, please. And Gemma, you start out with 13 points, which is pretty good. 27 is the score to beat. So let's see if you can do it and get through to the semi-finals. Here we go. Wild guinea pigs are native to which continent?
South America.
Yes. What French word is used to describe the driest type of sparkling wine, especially champagne?
Cava.
Brut. Who created and presented the Channel 4 satirical programme Brass Eye?
John Legend.
Chris Morris. Which distinguished mathematician and scientist held the post of Lucasian Professor of Mathematics at Cambridge University from 1669 to 1702?
Fibonacci.
Isaac Newton. Hearing, sight, smell and taste are 4 of the 5 traditional senses. What's the 5th?
Touch.
Yes. Which future Queen of England was betrothed to the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V as a 5-year-old and eventually married his son Philip II of Spain in 1554?
Mary I.
Yes. Which British singer and songwriter, whose real name is Rory Graham, went straight to #1 in the album chart in February 2017 with Human?
George.
Nope, a rag and bone man. What member of the crew do the winners of the Oxford versus Cambridge boat race traditionally throw into the Thames at the finishing post?
The Cox.
Yep. Which outpost town, founded in 1914 as a construction community, later became the headquarters of the Alaska Railroad and is now the state's most populous city?
Pass.
The dugong and the manatee are said to be the originals of which mythical half-human, half-fish creature?
Mermaid.
Yep. Who made her big breakthrough as Elle Woods in the 2001 film Legally Blonde? She followed it up with Sweet Home Alabama the following year.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yes. In which Yorkshire city was the Independent Labour Party, one of the forerunners of the current Labour Party, formed in 1893?
Bradford.
Yep. The Miller, the Cook and the Clerk are among the storytellers in which classic work of prose and poetry?
The Canterbury Tales.
Yes. Whose last major work was as librettist for Edward German's 1909 opera Fallen Fairies? He's best known for his collaboration with another composer.
Puccini.
Gilbert. A tiding and a tittering are among the collective nouns for which members of the crow family?
Ravens.
Magpies, whose fifth novel, Swing Time, first published in 2016, tells the story of two girls who grow up on North London housing estates and whose careers take different paths.
Pass.
Which painter, who died in 2011, was the grandson of the psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud?
Julian Freud.
Lucian Freud. Which yellow flower with a deep taproot, considered a weed by gardeners, has the Latin name Taraxacum officinale?
Dandelion.
Yes. What is the title of the 2016 reality television show in which a group of 8 older celebrities went to Jaipur to see if they could enjoy a better retirement in India than in the UK?
The Real Marigold Hotel.
That is it, yes. You had 2 passes, Gemma. Zadie Smith, she wrote Swing Time. And Anchorage is the Alaskan outpost, now a very large city. You have a total of 23 points. So, a very clear winner. Let's have a look at all the scores. In 4th place with 22 points, James. 3rd place, 23 points, Gemma. 2nd place, 24 points, Ewan. 1st place, 27 points, Don. That means, of course, that Don is tonight's winner, and he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. And if you would like to be a contender in the next series, do go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us on Twitter @mastermindquiz. And do join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.